Formula One just got interesting again. And trust me, it's been a long time coming. You know why? Because of the 2026 regulation changes. They're going to alter the landscape of the Formula One mold forever. To start off, the cars are going to get smaller by length and smaller by width. This means that they'll be able to stick themselves up of tiny corners and be able to pull off insane overtakes like we've seen in the past. These Formula One cars are also going to get significantly lighter, more than they ever have in the past decade, which means they're going to be more agile. So no more of these bullshit DRS overtakes. We're going to see proper, cold, hard, clean racing like we saw in 2012 and 2014, because that's what Formula One fans deserve, and that's what they're going to get with these regulation changes that are going to better the landscape of Formula One forever. Now, if you think those changes are good, you should really see what they did to the core of F1. Because I do gotta ask you, do you remember the sound Formula One? Yeah, well, forget about it. Because this is what Formula One's gonna sound like from now on. Or in other words, why? Because the 2026 regulations have decided to ruin the engine by making electrical power more significant and reducing the effect of fuel by removing the MGOH, which everybody knows is going to be terrible for the growth of Formula One. Here's what Verstappen
To
has to
me, it
say
looks
about
pretty
it.
terrible. Yeah, the problem is, it looks like it's gonna be an ice competition. Like, so whoever has the strongest engine will start a massive development war again, and it will become quite expensive.
So now, not only is F1 going to be like figure skating on tires, glorious championship teams like Haas are going to get ruined by financial issues. And you think that's the only problem? Well, then you should just forget F1 drivers, because in 2026, they're going to become like fighter pilots, because they're going to be weaponizing the aerodynamics every time they're on track. Because not only are you going to be able to open your rear wing, you're going to be able to open your front wing as well, in something called the X mode. There's also going to be a Z mode that closes both wings to increase your downforce so you can go through fast corners like Eau Rouge, but they're also going to be able to toggle back to X mode to decrease downforce on main straights like the one in Baku. There's also going to be something called a manual override button, which essentially gives the car 350 kilowatts of power through the electrical system, which is essentially just going to be able to allow them to fly by any car on the main straight for overtaking. So essentially, F1 drivers are going to weaponize aerodynamics in a way that fighter pilots do every day. So subscribe to see what's wrong with the chassis of Formula One in 2026. So what's your take on these F1 2026 regulations? Is it going to hurt the sport or is it going to help the sport? Because we've seen both sides of the spectrum with things like the size reduction, which is going to help overtaking. We've also seen things like the engine power being increased, which is obviously going to be terrible for the fans. So what do you think? Comment down below.